Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy. Today I'm sharing my October empties. Last month in September I used so much up. I think that video was really long because I do like to give reviews with my empties, letting you know if I would repurchase it or recommend it to you. This month, while I don't have as many empties as I did last month, I do have a few items that I'm decluttering. I was watching a few videos here on YouTube, I guess it was a week or two back, where several different YouTubers were putting up how old is my makeup type videos. And while I really make a point of using up my products, and I have decluttered a lot in the past. I give a lot of stuff to my sisters and friends if they're items that I don't love and are not using. And I definitely, my makeup collection is nowhere in comparison to many of the people you probably watch on YouTube. It is, you know, smaller, but than your average YouTuber, but then bigger than someone who is not really into beauty and makeup, for sure. But I did go through my collection and I pulled out some items that were just really old and needed to be thrown out. And I'm gonna show you those at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But first, I will get into what I used up before it went old. So some of the boring stuff out of the way. Used a Degree Men Dry Protection Cool Rush Antiperspirant. I like men's deodorant because I just am a sweaty, stinky mess. What can I say? And this stuff works really good. I got a 4-pack from Sam's Club, so we have plenty of backups of this. But Abby and I both use that product, so we use that up. A sample body product is the Josie Moran Whipped Argan Oil Body Butter, and this is in Honeysuckle Vanilla. I probably had, this packet was one use where I used it all over my body. The smell is it reminds me of my grandmother. Very honeysuckle, almost kind of like magnolia almost. It smells very good, but it is fragrant. But I have used the body butter product from Josie Moran in the past, and I do like it. It's not my favorite lotion, but it is nice, and that scent was nice as well. Used a sample perfume, a deluxe size sample of the Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb. This was in my 13 by Halloween project pan, so I'll link the finale down below for you if you're interested in seeing how I did in that project. Other boring items, Glide floss, get this from my dentist, and the Crest Complete Scope Plus Whitening Toothpaste. This is my favorite toothpaste. I love this stuff and already repurchased this, obviously, because don't need to have stinky breath, right? Then I used up the Living Proof Instant Texture Mist. This is a product that I had tried a sample of and fell in love with, and then bought the full size, and it just, I mean, I liked it, but it's not my favorite texturizing mist, I guess. So I did use this up. I won't repurchase it just because it's not my absolute favorite, but a sample did make me buy it, which I always think is interesting when you find things that you use for just a very short amount of time and you fall in love with, and then you purchase it. So I think I have another, yeah, I have another item actually where that has happened in this video. A couple of home items, a Better Homes and Gardens Crisp Fall Leaves. What are these called? Like wax cubes that you put in a like wax warmer. This was from last year, and this is really nice. It is spicy, just, it really does remind you of a fall day, and I did like it. I doubt they still sell this scent just because it's limited edition. But I'm sure they have something similar. I got these at Walmart. They're like $3 or something like that. Then a candle from Walmart is the Mainstays Woodland Sage candle. It's a 3-wick. It smells like a clean man. That's what it smells like to me. And it smells good. And it burned really nicely, very evenly. And this was like $5 too. I mean, you can't beat Walmart candles at all. And their fragrance stuff, because they're really cheap, but they smell nice. So some skincare items. Other items I used in a project pan. This one is for the Crossing 6 off my Christmas list, is the Blue Tansy Resurfacing Clarity Mask by Herbivore. and this is gone. And the Honey Moisture Mask by Lather. This was a deluxe size sample from Birchbox or Ipsy or something like that. This was okay, it's not my favorite. That Crossing 6 off my Christmas list, update number 1 will be up later this week, so stay tuned for that to see my full review on those 2 products. Then I used the travel size of the First Aid Beauty Facial Radiance Pads. I love these pads. Ooh, as I dropped them on the floor. This came as a recommendation from A Little Bit Etc. here on YouTube, and she has a really great blog as well. She loves these, recommended them. I got them years ago and have repurchased them several times since. So I had bought I think there was 15 in here. No, 28 pads actually. It's $15 for 28 pads, that's right. So it's like half the size of the full size, but the pads are saturated just as nicely. I had gotten this for our Alaska trip and I used, maybe a little less than half, and then when we came home and I used up my full-size container of this, which I think was probably in last month's empties or the month before, and so I reached for this before repurchasing the full size. So used that up, and then I had gotten, this might have been a sample, I think there were 10 pads, or one of those codes you put in when you place a Sephora order, and it had 10 pads in this foil packet. So when I finished up this, I placed these in here. Unfortunately, when it came in the foil packet, only about half of the pad of all 10 of them were saturated. So I don't know why. And there wasn't any like juice in the packet to reabsorb on the cotton pads. So that was unfortunate, but I did use them. And I have already purchased the 60 count First Aid Beauty Facial Radiance Pads, which I don't remember how much they are. They're probably around $30 something, but there's 60 in there, and I love those things. I would highly recommend them if you just want a very light exfoliation that doesn't irritate your skin, but just gives you a very smooth appearance, and they're great. And then the last skincare item is the Glam Glow Super Mud Clearing Treatment Mask. Just a foil packet. This reminded me of the Sephora Clay Mask. It looked the same on the skin, and I think did the same exact thing. I've only used sample packets of the Sephora one as well, but it wasn't anything amazing. It's a clay mask really. So, but it does have several different AHA and then BHA salicylic acid. So I don't know. I just can't. I feel like Glam Glow is a product line that is really overpriced for what it does. I do like the products that I've tried. I've liked lots of them actually, but I just can't justify that price. I just can't do it. Okay, and so makeup items. Several of these are from my 13 by Halloween Project Pan. This is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. Used this up. I even scraped the edges with my beauty spatula to get the last bits out of it. Used up the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eyeshadow Primer. There's probably a little bit left in here, but as I mentioned in my finale that was up last week or earlier this week, oil started coming out, so I think it's time to be done, and I've basically used almost all of it, so I'm fine with that having a little bit of product left, and it's not my favorite. I wouldn't recommend that. And then the NYX HD Translucent Powder. Like I said in my finale, there's a little bit around the rims left. I'm not a repressor. I'm already using a pretty small powder brush to try and get it up, and it's just not working as well. So I'm calling this quits. I think I did pretty good to get through a powder. I never ever get through powders. I don't know why. Some people just go through them constantly, and I just don't go through powders that much. I don't know. I finally finished the Sephora. This is their purple mascara, and I tried to find it again because it's actually pretty good. Full Action Extreme Effect Mascara. They had it on clearance, and they no longer have the purple shade. I actually use this as my bottom lash mascara, and it is very purple, but on the bottom lashes it just gives it something kind of cool and funky, I think. And it's not very noticeable at all. I could wear it to work and it was fine. But it has, you know, a standard bristle brush and applied very nicely, didn't smudge. You know, if they didn't discontinue this, I would probably pick this up again just for something fun and different, but they did discontinue it. The other item that I mean, there might be a few more uses in it, but honestly, it's just a lot of air. And I've had this for well over probably 2 years, and this was in a project pan probably a year or so ago, and it's very fragrant. So I'm just calling it done. This is the Baby Glow Meteorites Broad Spectrum SPF 25 Sheer Makeup by Guerlain. This was the other item that I used a sample of, fell in love with, and bought the full size. And while I do love it, it is very pink toned and it is very fragrant. As you can imagine, like Chanel and Dior and Guerlain, all of those, like, you know, higher end brands, they all just have that perfume grandmother smell, which isn't terrible, but it is something to think about if you're sensitive to smell. And this was like a $54 foundation. Didn't give a ton of coverage, as you can imagine, it's sheer makeup, but it just kind of evened out my skin tone, covered what I needed to cover, gave some SPF, and looked nice on the skin. Lasted, you know, a decent amount of time. I really do like this product, actually. I wouldn't repurchase it because of the price and the smell, and it is very pink toned on me. So, you know, I wouldn't get it again because of those reasons, but I did enjoy it while I had it. And, you know, for $54, you want to use up and get your money's worth. The last two items before I get into the decluttered items that I'll show you are two beauty blenders. Now, one is a beauty blender. See how nice and squishy that is? This is an Equate Walmart brand sponge. I mean, it is taking all my strength in my fingers and my thumb to squeeze down on that. But this is, I thought, oh my gosh, I have the packaging as well. It's Equate Classic Blender Sponge with vitamin E. It's latex free. I think it was probably $2. I mean, it was cheap. But when I saw it, I was like, this is exactly the same size, shape as a beauty blender. And I wanted to try it. I mean, $2, you can't beat it. This I used maybe a week and I was like, forget it, this is crap. Like, this is so bad. It is so dense, there's no squish to it at all, unlike the beauty blender where there's so much squish and it's so nice. This was like literally pounding a rock on my face. It was so bad. So I mean, I did use it a few times. I was actually going to do a video comparing, you know, the beauty blender to a couple of other sponges, including the Eco Tools, and then I got the L'Oreal one. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to share it in my empties that this is, don't even bother. Save your $2. So I'm going to throw that out. The beauty blender, $20 at Sephora. They have different styles, like a black, a nude. They have one for blush and that sort of thing. This is just the original beauty blender. Love this. It puffs up so nicely with water. You know, this is dirty, obviously, and it's been sitting in my empties for a while. But I love this. I would definitely repurchase a beauty blender. I might put one on my Sephora VIB list when it comes time for that sale. But yeah, it's just time. I think I used this for almost 6 months and it's done. But I love that. It's so good and it washes so nicely. Okay, so the items that I'm decluttering, like I said at the beginning of this video, I just went through my entire collection and looked at things that I just thought were way too old and I'm just not reaching for, or haven't reached for in a long time, and it's just time to toss them. So one of the items is this, what is it? Bikini Zone Medicated Aftershave Roll-On Relief. So this is like a roll-on gel that you put on your bikini line after you shave or wax or whatever. This is, I mean, it expired in August of 2014, and this has been in the back of my cabinet in my bathroom for obviously years. I mean, when I saw the expiration, I was like, oh my God, how long have I had this? So this is going in the trash. The other item, or a couple of skincare items, as I drop it on the floor. Okay, so this is the Algenist Eye Renewal Balm. This was in a project pan earlier this year. There's not a ton left, and it'll be hard to see on camera, but you'll see there, you know, there's a significant pan down at the bottom there, but I just feel like it's old and I don't like it. And honestly, I felt like it was kind of breaking me out underneath my eyes, and so I thought it probably had gone bad, so I'm just gonna throw it out. The other thing that I'm throwing out is the Needles No More 3D Volumizing Mask by Dr. Brandt. So this was a 100-point perk. There's not a ton left in there, but it's dried out. I love this mask. I would put it on morning and night right here along my cheeks to fill in my acne scarring, and it works so nicely. You know, you could put your other skincare items on top. You could put your foundation on top and it looked nice. This is like $99 for a full size, so I just can't justify it, but it is really nice. And so when I see them as a 100-point perk, I get them because they are it is a nice product. I just didn't reach for it as much in the last, you know, I've probably had this maybe 6 months, and the last couple of months I just didn't reach for it, and it's dried out, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out. The other things that are dried out, which I barely used at all, are these two ColourPop eyeliners. So one is in Zulu, which is a really pretty kind of green color, and then this one is in Bee Sting, which is a blue color. Now, I can't remember which one, but yeah, this one, there's literally the pencil like fell out of it, and because it was so dry, I think I maybe used it once, if that, and I mean, I've had this probably for about 2 years or so, so just throwing that out. And then I got the Bee Sting one at the same time I bought the other one. I've only placed I think maybe I placed 2 ColourPop orders, but this was in my first one, and this is also dried out. So there is product coming up, but it's dry. I mean, I can't even use it. So throwing that out. The other thing is this Frat Boy blush by The Balm. It's this really cute packaging. It's like a mini size. I got it in a Birchbox, and the pan is very tiny, but I used a lot of it. I used a ton of it actually, but I just can't get my brush in there that well. You know, it's just not usable anymore, and I have had this for over 2 years, which isn't terrible for a powder product, but because it's in the sample size, I'm just not reaching for it. I would maybe purchase a full size just because I really do like this color, and I think it looks really nice and natural. So I would maybe pick that up during like a balm sale or something like that. The other is I had gotten rid of the NARS Rikugian that was part of the same set for your birthday gift at Sephora. I don't even know. This might have been 3 years ago that it was the birthday gift. So I'd gotten rid of the Rikugian months ago, and was going through my collection and found the Cruella one. And while this is one of my favorite red shades, it's just old and I'm not reaching for it. So while down the road, if I want another red pencil, the top like popped off and it scared me. I'm sure you couldn't tell that on the camera, but it did. If I wanted like a really nice true red pencil that wears really nicely while it's matte, it's not drying, or at least, you know, I haven't had any issues with it, and it's really nice to apply it as a pencil because you can use it as a lip liner and your lip color. So I would maybe repurchase this or purchase it a full size down the road. I don't need a red right now, and I do love this, but it's old, it's time to go. This item I have purchased a replacement of, and it's just like goopy mess. So this is the Formula X base coat. They no longer sell this at Sephora, which is so sad because the system is how I do my nails. I use the nail cleanser, the base coat, and then whatever nail polish I'm wearing with the top coat, and it lasts over a week. It is an excellent system, and I don't know why they've discontinued it because it's great. But they have discontinued it, and I purchased the system again when it was on sale when they were clearing it out. But this is just so goopy. It's just a mess to put on, so it's not really working anymore. So I'm going to throw it out, and I'm already currently using the replacement, which is sad because I mean it's a little less than halfway gone and it got really bad and goopy. So I don't know, maybe that's why they're discontinuing it, because it doesn't last very long. But I have had this for probably a year and a half or so that's pretty good. Okay, the last item that I'm decluttering and throwing away, but actually I'll probably not throw away. I'll probably put it in like my memory makeup box where I have a couple of other things that are sentimental to me, and it's the Naked palette by Urban Decay. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I was trying to pan this at the beginning of this year. I couldn't do it. I couldn't hit pan on anything. These are so densely packed. I was just having really trouble using it. I just wasn't getting a lot of joy out of it. And this is my first makeup palette that I've ever bought. And this is probably 7 years old, if not more, if not older. And it's time to go. And I'll put it in my sentimental box and, you know, maybe pull it out and look at it from time to time. But I was having some eye irritation with some of these shadows when I was using them as well, especially the glittery shades. So I think it's just old and expired. So I am gonna go ahead and put that out of rotation and not reach for that anymore for the sake of my eye health. Okay, so this video is already at 22 minutes. Hopefully I can cut it down a little bit for you. But I hope you enjoyed. I enjoy watching empties and I like sharing them with you just because I think you get a well-rounded understanding of what I feel about the product and whether I would repurchase or recommend it to you. So please give this video a thumbs up if you like empties videos. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in my next video soon. Take care. Bye.